Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Retireholics. My name is Mr. Carlson. I'm joined by Silent J, Justin McNeil, Nerdy Chad Johansson, and everybody's favorite retireholic, the beer pocket man, Mark Palmini, aka Robe Guy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's get it cracking, shall we? This is the point in the show when you rate Justin on a 0 to 10 on his intro. So, Justin, who the fuck do we have today with us on the show?
I don't know.
Ben.
Done. I had to try to do something to see if I could top last week, but anyways.
Well
We got
done.
a wealth advisor out of Pac Northwest. Chad and I had the privilege of sitting down with him a few weeks back, and one thing was clear: this guy will outwork, outgrind, and outtalk just about anybody, it seems like. And yes, that does include Shamanda. He's dedicated to his craft of helping others and has quite the self-made backstory to boot. So if you ever bored and want to go on the interwebs and check it out, you should. When he's not grinding it out for his clients, you can find him competing in a nationally drug-free bodybuilding contest, if there is such a thing. And he also serves on the board of Accelerating Community Empowerment, which is a Brazilian nonprofit that devotes its resources to empowering the next generation of Brazilian children to have the opportunity to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, he's one of the wealth advisors of Lucia Capital Group. Hope I got that right. And host of Capitalize Your Finances podcast. And I believe the first person to ever wear a fucking blazer on this damn show.
Nice.
That's not true. That's not true.
On this show. Anyways, let me finish. Mr. Chris Panagiotu, I have no clue how to pronounce your last name.
That was really close. That was really good. So it's Panagiotu. So you're really close.
Oh, that's not how you say it.
It's I just figured that out yesterday. So, and yes, I'm wearing a blazer. I decided to go no tie. Normally I go tie, but looking at the dudes, I wanted to feel more inclusive with the dudes. Unconfirmed if pants are on or not. But
never.
Other than, never.
Never.
Well, we know with the robe.
There's a robe.
Yeah, who wears pants with a robe? That
not
is-
even not even at the live show either.
Everyone got a great view of that.
Justin, I feel like you're really coming back in your swing. I think that was really good. So
was that a really cute pun intended on JD's behalf because he's so excited about the Giants?
well, since you mentioned it, Mark, let's talk
here we go.
headlines. Headlines.
go.
Brandon, do I get the graphic? I'm like Mark. I always wait for my headlines graphic.
You have to.
You're getting 9 out of
Not
10
gonna-
for the.
It's not gonna give it to me. Okay, headlines. Yes.
Typical Chris.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Giants versus Dodgers, game 5 tonight, 6:05 Pacific time. So guess what? After show? Fuck the after show. I'm going to watch the game. Maybe 10 minutes.
I wanted to ask about that.
Why can't the baseball is so stupid? Again, I like the Giants. I like baseball, but Chad, you're a baseball guy. It's stupid. Here's why: 7-game series in the first round. Why not?
They used to.
Why not?
Always used to.
Why not? That's
Because
stupid.
they're trying to speed things up.
It's STUP. However else you finish that,
For
stupid.
sure. With you.
Well, I would just like to say for the record that if we
Unless
win-
the Giants win tonight.
Yes,
exactly.
we win tonight.
Crushed
I
it.
totally
I'm
disagree with you,
I'm
Mark.
just
If we
doing
win,
that.
I'm totally on board with what you're saying.
So that way, if they lose, you come back to this tape and you see what I said, and you're like, "Oh, he was right. He's totally right."
Yes, Paul, the Dodgers are starting a reliever, a little last minute switch to fuck with our batting lineup, I believe. We'll see how this goes.
No. And I'm not making fun of anyone. Their manager's dyslexic. He doesn't understand when the game starts and ends. That's why he did that.
Nice.
Jeez, Mark.
Let's
Maybe
see.
the Dodgers are playing chess
JD,
while the Giants are playing checkers.
Be honest with yourself for the Giants winning tonight.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
shut up, Chad. How dare you even ask me that fucking question? My lord.
You have to be honest with yourself, JD.
Oh God.
got-
Don't
Jerry's
start
got a
off
great
this
question
way,
for you.
Chad. We're moving
as much
on.
as it pains
Headlines.
me, I bet on the Dodgers.
Headlines. Let's see.
You're just lucky you have like baseball to talk about.
Oh
I mean,
God. I knew we shouldn't have done the sports.
This is all you're doing, JD.
See what happens,
All
everyone
you're
out there?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
I've learned this in the past, and I stepped right in the mistake again. You go to sports.
Another pun. You're full of them.
Completely off. I didn't say step in the bucket. I said step in it. That's a baseball reference, Mark.
I've already said it's stupid, so I'm just saying.
Headlines. Apparently there's been a bump in Social Security. I don't know. ESG, something
5.4%.
something's going on with ESG where they're reversing Trump
Bing,
stuff.
bing, 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 bing.
Oh.
Yeah,
we started.
Okay.
you
Yep,
haven't done
we
any
did.
housekeeping, but that's bullshit. We started.
I'll drink. Well, it started.
I was gonna say,
That's
so
when
every
Chris stand corrected.
So-
acronym, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that next. Hang on there, Christopher. And then my headline is, you guys should all, if you haven't, you all here and everyone out there, watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV. It warms my heart. I've fallen in love with the show. I'm obsessed. And I someday will run plan design consultants like Ted Lasso runs his soccer team. I'm just saying that now.
Yeah. JD,
Okay.
by the way, we had that exact conversation about 5 months ago where we tried to convince you to watch Ted Lasso.
Oh, I'm just in love with it. Absolutely.
Wait, hold
I'm
on. Have you finished?
Ep7.
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, games. We're gonna play some games today. So yes, of course, we're playing Chapter Champion out there, and we will anoint a winner at the end of the show here, and you will get to choose your collectible mug. We are also gonna play Acrosin, but guess what, everybody? Chris doesn't poison himself with alcohol.
Good for you, Chris.
And
Drug-free
so-
Bodybuilding.
So of course we respect that. We will drink for him, although he's going to tell us that he's drinking something. But before you tell us what you're drinking, I just want to state it to everyone out there. We always respect you when you want to come on the show and not drink. It just seems like it's happening a lot lately. We've got an ERISA attorney coming in a few weeks. He doesn't
Bing, 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 bing.
Got it.
I don't have I haven't looked at the buttons yet. Sorry.
I might be running out of my patience. So if you're a future guest and you're an alcoholic and you don't drink currently, you've withstanded and you want to get on the show, I suggest you pick back up the habit. Okay, Chris.
Wow.
Well,
Yes,
you're the one that's
yeah,
booking these
so-
people, JD.
So, obviously I do not drink, but I wanted to see like what I could manage, right? So my wife and I are huge Zevia fans. So we've got the ginger root beer flavored of Zevia. So it's a nice little blend, right? And there's nothing in it. So it's like you're tasting actual root beer, but you're actually, you know what? Now that I'm saying that, there probably
They
is
have
like, my brother and I
alcoholic root
always
beer now
laugh
too
about
these
this
days.
stuff. Like there's probably some rat poison in here. It's like Diet Coke, right? Like there's something in there that they put in. So I'm not maybe poisoning myself with alcohol, but other things.
Fair
right?
enough.
There's
Fair enough.
plenty of poison to go around.
True that. Let's dive right in to some topics. And I want to challenge you guys today a little bit. Typically we're a 401k obsessed show. And no doubt we will blend into some 401k subjects today. But because we've got Chris here on the show, I'd like to dive more into the financial planning aspect of things. So with that, let me kind of kick this off and get some of your guys' thoughts. I Googled today, I pretended that I was like a person that finally wanted to get some financial help in my life. I don't know whether I'm a 23-year-old that's really getting a start early, or I'm a 35-year-old that finally realized it, or maybe I'm a 48-year-old that, got later in life and decided I finally need some financial support, some help from a professional. I hop on Google and I type in how to find a financial advisor, a financial planner. And a lot of the little like top 6 lists that I got back said things like, I should ask the potential advisor, what asset allocation strategies do you use? What's your investment philosophy? What do you use to benchmark your performance? Who's your custodian? And I was reading this stuff going like, these are all so investment-based things. Like that seems so 10 years ago to me. Am I really hiring an advisor to help me pick investments in today's day and age? Or am I more concerned with someone helping me with like my credit score, my saving strategies, my credit card debt, my budgeting, my kind of short and midterm planning? So I'll go to you first, Chris, as the guest. does this ring true for you? Like when clients first engage with you or they're feeling you out, are they coming to you like, what investments are you going to use? Or are they coming to you more about their kind of holistic day to day? And I honestly don't know the answer to that.
There's a lot there. Short answer is it depends. So I think in general, the older you get, the closer you're knocking on the retirement door. So they're going to ask questions that are very investment focused, as opposed to maybe someone out of school that maybe they don't have any investments. And so they're looking at credit score or debt because that's literally all they have. What I will say is what we're doing at Capitalize Your Finances is there's no framework out there that's really easy for people to understand. So like on our show, we've had really smart academics on, David Blanchett, Michael Finke, Wade Pfau, all these guys.
Who?
The bummer with
Morningstar, dude.
I'm
Really smart
joking.
Okay, yeah.
You don't know.
So
I have no idea.
so David Blanchett was the head of Morningstar retirement research for a while.
How dare
for a
you,
long
Mark, not know the Morningstar, dude? Shame on you.
Yeah, the
Knows,
Morningstar
we talked
dude.
about it in Arizona.
Yeah, and then you've got Michael Finke and Wade Pfau through the American College of Financial Services. Wade Pfau especially very well known. The bummer with a lot of the academic talks is it's so high level. Consumers that they don't care, right? Like we're all obsessed with what we do, so we can nerd out and get way into the weeds about stuff. But you have an everyday person that needs this help. They're not looking for that. They want something surface level. On the problem side of that is if you go too surface level, like what is your asset allocation, or is my credit score good, or whatever else, JD, you said, there's no framework with that. It's very surface level. And so with Capitalize Your Finances, what I'm doing is I'm trying to build a step-by-step framework so people understand the more holistic side of the planning aspect, but they can actually build it, and it's not in the weeds, but if they want to go into the weeds, they can. So
I was just curious. I was just curious if when people came to you,
was that me for the acronym?
Yeah, and apparently Hackler's going to drink for you online, so you can drink your root beer.
I'm just gonna say the word by itself is fine, but I know that you added your initials to the beginning of that word, so when you say that together, it's got your initials in it.
Wow, Mark,
That's an
that would be a
initialism.
genius way for him not to promote his own thing through this whole show. Like if
I know.
we made it,
It's just one for good measure to say we listened to your podcast,
okay.
but also we won't continue that.
Sure. Mark, let me ask you. I don't think a lot of people are in the general public seem ready for a financial advisor. So
here we go. Asking me is the normal, regular, non-highly compensated employee. Yes,
no. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
At
the
what
rank
point,
and file. Yeah.
At what point in life, whether someone's built up a certain amount of wealth, savings, their income, their age, or whatever, do you think that they start considering like, geez, I should be talking to a professional to get some help? When does that happen for people?
I have no idea.
You can't say I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't say
Okay.
I don't know.
You want me just to guess a number out of thin air?
You can punt it to Chad if you want to.
Say. No. He's going to make up some statistics. So what I'll say is that at my current age, I haven't considered doing it. I know my colleague Chad over here has. We're the same age. So I'm gonna use that as my foundation to say, I would say, because I'm more of the normal, as you would say, versus the Chad of the world, that it's probably a little later in life. So I'm going to guess, if I had to guess, 41 and a half years old on average.
Chad, yes.
Taking the over there for sure in that date.
The over on that.
The over on that date. JD, the comment I wanted to make to some of Chris's points earlier, I feel like the vast majority of people that are going to Google that they're looking for advisory help are doing so because they think they need help investing money. And I think that we know as individuals that have been in this space that the vast majority of people don't actually need help investing their money. They need help making the right decisions with their money. Do I invest? Do I pay down debt? Not how do I invest, but more so what am I doing with what I have earned, what I will be earning moving forward? What's the best way for me to accumulate wealth? And I think that that's a area that the 401k space is starting to figure out, hence the financial planning, the financial wellness. But I don't think anybody that's Googling what they need, like you did, is going anywhere near financial wellness.
So Chad,
They're doing it
you're
because they want help investing.
you're saying it's not even an isolated to a 401k problem. It's a people problem. And this is why I'm going to go back to you, Chris.
Yes.
And without promoting the podcast or what you're doing, because I know your podcast focuses on this, like kind of building.
Why would you not promote? Chris, don't listen to him, dude.
You let Enzo do it all the time.
Just keep saying the podcast name. It's fine.
Do you agree with, I'm assuming you do. Is this a big problem that people don't see that the financial planning and the holistic side is more important than their investments?
So
Start, at least.
because we were talking about football earlier, I'm going to use a football reference, which was really topical a couple of years ago. And then Marshawn left the Seahawks, and then everyone's really mad about it. I'm going to use it anyways. So when you're on offense on football, on the football field, you're trying to score, ideally a touchdown. Okay. How you do that, there's so many different strategies to doing it, right? If you have Tom Brady, you're probably going to look to pass. If you have Marshawn Lynch, you were probably looking to run when he played. Now he's very retired. So
unless it's the last play of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. I'm not a Seahawks fan, so like I'm not going to be all that bummed about it. But I will tell you what, you say that up here in Seattle, and there will be like riots in the streets from that. Like there's PTSD because of the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So, gosh, man, that is tough. I'll tell you, if I did decide, you know what, I'm just going to binge and drink on this show, I would be dead by the end of this show.
That's
like
what we do. That's what we do every Thursday, Chris.
Yeah.
Not big of a deal.
But no, going back to that analogy. So the strategy for the Seahawks was to run the ball. Now, if you just run it all day long in the NFL, these defenses are going to pick it up. So you need to create satellite national football. Gosh, man. So because I'm going to get through this. So then what you do is you need to create satellite strategies. So if you have Russell Wilson run out of the back and throw it to one of his wide receivers, okay, got it, nailed it, play fake it to Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, whatever. Those are satellite strategies around the core strategy of running the football for the overall purpose of scoring a touchdown. So go back to Chad's point of people don't know what they don't know to ask. When they go to Google, they're thinking about the Doug Baldwin strategy, or, you know,
Gotcha.
satellite,
Okay.
or Tyler Lockett. They've gone way too far down the line, and they need to start from a framework, right? Whether it's capitalized or
Yeah.
whatever, to actually build from that.
But can I ask you, Chris, can I ask you,
Yeah.
don't you think that we've marketed ourselves that way as an industry, and that Wall Street has done that? And wouldn't it be smart of us to kind of shift our message to them and start to talk to them about their credit score, about their saving, their budgeting? And I know you do this, but this is kind of our fault, not theirs, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been an issue for, well, there's a couple of things. So it is and it isn't. So, you know, Wall Street's not dumb. I mean, they understand how to make money. So if you go on TV, right, news networks of any type, when it's financial, the best shows with the best ratings are giving very snippet advice on something really big. Like you go on Jim Cramer, okay? Whether you like it or hate him, he will yell at you for like 2 minutes on one stock, and people just go and flock and buy it because it's sexy and it's exciting. But that's very often not, for a number of reasons, the right thing to do. So there's a balancing of, if you're going to get people excited about it, you got to be very surface level. And unfortunately, if people don't want to dig deep, a lot of these companies say, screw it, I just need to make my money and leave.
Chad.
We had a slightly different conversation, but we had this talk in Arizona where the reason why, JD, we're not a stupid industry, guys. The reason why we've talked about investments
Speak for
to our
yourself.
audience It is, but JD, that's because that's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
We're selling
fine.
people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And so we know better, though, as an industry, that we do have to change that dialogue. And I think
Well-
that's your point, JD, is that we're going to have to be the catalyst to change that dialogue, to let people know that, yes, you want to hear about investments, but that's not what you should be wanting to hear about.
I would go further
need
than
more
you, Chad.
holistic planning, Kate.
I would go further than you. I would say that we promote the old school. We're going to manage your money, because Wall Street's really after high net worth individuals, and helping people that don't have net worth is tough for them financially. And so where I wanted to try to take us, and we've done fine, we haven't quite got there, is I wanted to find out like why it was above 41 that people didn't come and get help. And I think the answer is because they haven't amassed any kind of wealth. And I think as an industry, it'd be smarter if we could go to the 23-year-old and say, look, it's not about your net worth. It's not about your investable assets. It's about maybe you paying me $1,500 a year as your financial planner to help you get your credit score in line, get your budgeting in line, get your savings in line, and prep you so you're a much better 45-year-old when we get to that point. And I don't think Wall Street's going to do it because the money's not in it for them. But I think the local financial planner, financial advisor could accomplish this. And that's where I wanted to take it.
You know, last week, Fred Reich said that the record keeping institutions are going to go heavy at rollovers. They always have, they always will be. The majority of the rollovers that they're going to get are not from the wealthy, right? They're coming out of these plans. They're the nickels and dimes, not the person who's rolling out $750K or 1.5 million, because those people have financial advisors. So I think if those institutions are smart enough to see that a lot of pennies can accumulate to a big dollar amount, then they're going to find a way to monetize the small balances, the individuals that do need that kind of help. I haven't seen it yet, but we're getting there.
Later in the show, I'd like to kind of dive into what that might look like. But Justin, can I put you on the spot? Mark doesn't have an advisor. Chad has an advisor. I know who his advisor is. I'm assuming that you do not.
Chad's my advisor.
Huh?
Chad's my advisor.
I knew you were going to say that too.
My question to you is,
I wouldn't trust that guy, dude.
Would you or will you ever? And then if you could be honest with us and everyone, like, why wouldn't you right now? Why don't you?
No, I absolutely would. Not right now. Geez, trying to do it myself. Not the smartest thing to do by any means with the investment side of things. And I don't know. Haven't really put much thought into why I don't have one, but
Mark, and then maybe Chris. I mean,
thanks,
and I have no idea. I don't want to put these thoughts in your head. Do you feel like you're not good enough? Like you don't have enough net worth, enough investable assets to actually call someone? Is that part of it?
For sure. Yeah.
that's also part of the problem.
Yeah.
Chris,
Like
is that why people don't
thought
write
process, right?
So I would actually go even a step further. You don't know what you don't know. And then also, so this industry, so you got to go way, even though I'm not that old, like I've done my reading. I mean, you go way back and it was super heavy into stock trading. Okay. And that was basically it, stocks and bonds. And frankly, so I talked about this on my show with David Lau from DPL, and it was so much easier back in the day in a lot of ways to advise. Gosh, man.
It's okay. You're only
missed that
drinking
one.
root beer.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get
what'd
too
you say?
upset about it.
I know. No. Oh, if that was the case,
Hackler's the one
that
that should be pissed. He's the one
I was
drinking.
gonna say
for
my
you.
wife would need to start digging my grave out back. Like I would just be done. But in the 70s and 80s, with interest rates dipping, people would just be laddering bonds left and right. And really, it wasn't that tough. You also had pension income, you had social security income, which you still have today. But you fast forward and not everyone has. First off, no one's calling and saying, like, if I called Chad and said, Chad, dude, I've got, well, Chad might answer my call, but Chad, I've got, X
The
amount
investment.
Microsoft on the docket today. It looks like a good buy. You down? You're like, yeah, dude. Or, go away and you just hang up. And
I don't know. That could come back, man. People are hungry for a little
Right.
secret.
You know what I mean?
Why Google has that as the top searches.
Crypto, bro.
So, there's been this shift of like recurring revenue, but then you need to have under that model, if you have $100,000 and you charge a 1% assets under management fee, got you, Mark. That's $1,000 a year gross to your praxis revenue. You are not going to survive off of that. So I will say, a couple of years ago, Ray Lucia Jr. and I were talking about this, and the industry is changing a lot. And so charging that flat subscription model for flat planning, and then if you have investments or if you have insurance or you have questions with the state, there's satellite ways to get paid. But the flat cost of planning just to get in the door, that gives people the ability to say, okay, well, there isn't a net worth requirement, but I need planning.
Well, you're stepping right into my little trap.
Well,
okay, go ahead, Chad.
I'm just going to add, because this is
JD's
stepping into
favorite
it
thing.
for you too, JD. I did not reach out to my advisor for any type of investment support. I needed a connection to get our trust medical directive will set before my wife and I traveled.
Fucking hashtag nerd alert.
That's
yeah,
where
that's
where I started. That's why I reached out to
you. By the way, Chad, you are
did you
one
find
of
him?
10,000 people that would reach out for that part. But I love you for that.
That's what
and
they
really
should
smart.
be. People, you got kids, you got a home, you need to have a trust. You need to have your will lined up.
I would argue that a lot of people really just fuck up their finances first. And if they could be given the right kind of coaching and orders in their 20s, they'd be much better off in their 40s. But where Chris was going with this was the lack of profitability to help these people that don't have any investable assets, which is going to step right into my trap of why a 401k plan might be an interesting space for financial planners to start to do some business and talk about this convergence and what that might look like. But so before we head to that, let's spin the wheel of ice. Let's see who's drinking a Smirnoff and possibly a Makers. And then let's tie this to 401k a little bit.
Get mine out now. I hope it's Chris.
Chad.
He was ready. He was ready.
Bar.
Did you say you hope it was me?
Yes, I was hoping it was you.
Okay.
No froze. No.
Might as well start making it, Chad.
No froze. No froze. Yeah. Whew, I left the mug empty for that sole reason too.
He's safe. Okay. Well, while Chad drinks that, and Heckler, keep bringing it. Like, you have my vote so far, but I'm leaning towards some others. But the more you hurt my feelings tonight, the more I'll vote for you for Chat Bar Champion. Okay.
Wow.
Let's take it to growing your practice. And I'd like us all to get in kind of the headspace of, maybe a young advisor that's about to build their business. And let's first start with the 401k advisor. Okay. And then we'll move to the financial planner, for lack of a different term. And then we'll see how those two things might cross over, or what a hybrid might look like. Okay. Fun. We'll start with Chad. When a new advisor comes to you and says, hey, Chad, I'm fired up on this. I'm 25 years old. I don't know. And I'm about to build my business. How many plans should I focus on? How many plans can I get in a year? How long will it take me to build to X amount of plans? Like, and I'm all in on this thing. I want to be a 401k plan advisor. What are you telling him or her realistically? 6 plans a year, 10, you're going to get to 50,
You want me to answer
75.
it? I'm going to leave all the actual comments that I would make before this statement. But if I'm going to answer that, I'm going to find out what asset threshold they should focus in. And I'm going to say they should be getting 5 to 10 plans a year.
5 to 10 plans a year you think they can bring in. Okay. Let me have some fun with you, Justin. Where does that become ideal for that advisor? Where do they tap out at? 50, 75, 100, 1 million? How many plans?
Well, are we talking, or do they have a support team behind them? Or
Great
by themselves?
question.
What's the deal?
Great question. That's, I mean,
So
let's
if they're by
assume for now,
themselves, let's say,
let's
what were you
assume
gonna
it's
say?
them and like a little, you know, one and a half support kind of people in
Which
the
let's
end.
acknowledge that would
I like-
always be the first answer, right, guys? We're not going to tell them, oh, go get 10 plans, even though you don't know how to service one or you don't have the
Right.
back end built out. So I'm making the assumption they've got a model, they've got a couple of record keepers they're going to partner with. They know how to service this shit, and we're trying to tell them what they should be bringing in.
Yeah, and they can't handle this as Hackler.
I think Webby hit it
disagree
on the
completely.
head.
All right, Justin. So where
436
do you
plan.
think they cap out at? Where do they, what's their goal?
Webby said it 436.
436 plans?
No, I think
not
I don't know,
accurate.
7,500.
Okay, yeah.
We have
Yeah,
some
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
small, you know, advisors with some small back offices that carry that many plans.
All right, Mark,
Good job.
on those 75 plans, what do you think that firm makes in revenue? Take a stab. What are they? 75 plans, small market, new person. You know, what are they making in revenue?
$1 million.
Maybe. They'd have to be probably a little more mid-market or up, but could be. I like Brandon's guess.
636,422, Bob.
I like it. I think that's not too far off. Good guess, Mark. Okay, so
I was just
and
trying to do the math in my head.
according to Chad's metrics, although Hackler disagrees, that would take them 7 years or 7.5 years, 8 years, right? Okay. All right. Everyone cool with those metrics?
Yeah.
Feel all right with it? All right, let's go to Chris. Brand new financial planner. They don't do 401k. And I've heard Kitsis. I'm a big Kitsis and Carl fan. Late night when I'm super hammered, I watch them and I really get into it. And Hackler, by the way, they get very emotional. And I heard Kitsis talk about, you know, getting to 100 million in assets under management and I think the classic planner loves to have a client with $1 million, right? And you got 100 of them. But anyways, let's go. Same question to you. Brand new guy, building their business. What's
Okay.
the ideal?
So I'm just going to use myself because at 23, I was crazy enough to do that. So I figured out very quickly that if you just focused on the 401k side, take away if you got, you know, if Wells Fargo called me and said, hey, we want you to be our 401k advisor, I don't need any more clients. That's it, right? But avoid those big ones, those big whales out there. I found out really quickly if I just focus on these smaller plans, which is good. I mean, a 23-year-old, like I still need to learn a lot. And I understood that you are not going to survive. So I quickly figured out, okay, I'm going to market myself to go 50-50 retirement plans because that's the world I grew up in, but then also financial planning.
You're
And
going to
it's
the
now-
end of my story, the hybrid. I wanted you to pretend like you're just a planning guy. And
Okay.
what does a successful planning business look like? Are you going to go out and get 50 individual clients, 75, 100 individual clients? What is that? I'm going to say AUM so I can drink from my fucking drink.
Sure. So if you just focused on planning, personal financial planning, the big number that is spoken in our industry is the 100 million mark.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
like you said, if you get to $100 million of assets under management,
Yes.
quick, you know, if you're taking 1% off of that, that's $1 million in revenue. A broker dealer gets paid their cut. The registered investment advisors get their cut. And then you've got your net revenue to your business. And then you pay staff, rent, miscellaneous expenses, whatever. And anything that's left over, that's profit.
And
I
it's
think-
serviceable. The 100 clients. I
serviceable,
think
yeah.
Kitsis and those guys start to talk about, well, you know, it depends. You might be running and gunning. Depends on your tech stack. Depends on, you know,
Yeah.
how you service your clients, but it is doable. So 100 clients, 100 million in AUM. Yeah.
That would be
check swing.
ideal. That would be
It's
ideal.
not a check swing. No.
I think in reality though, you could get, oh gosh, I can just speak for myself. We could probably get up to, because we're not near full capacity on the personal side. Probably 175
Okay.
personal clients before I would need to start
Interesting.
looking for some support, some
That's
additional
interesting.
support.
Sure. There's a
What-
spectrum. There's a spectrum.
Yeah, sure.
The same would be true on the 401k side. Okay. So now I have zero experience with this. And I want to put almost like Chris against Chad in a weird way. Chris,
Oh my gosh.
you-
Hair against no hair. Let's go.
you play the financial advisor, the financial planner, and Chad plays the retirement plan advisor.
Okay.
What's harder, getting 100 clients with $100 million in assets under management, personal clients, or getting to, what did we say? 75 retirement? Geez, is that what we said?
Yeah.
What we agreed on, Bob.
Oh man. Chad.
What's
you-
more difficult? And let me ask you this, Chris, you'll start.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to get to 100 clients, Chad said that he was going to get 10 plans. What did you say, Chad?
I said
5 to 10
5 to 10 a year. So we said
How many-
7 years.
How many $1 million personal clients can you get in a year? What's normal? It's got to be
Cool.
hard.
Yeah, for the first couple of years. I mean, compounding works in all
Hackler
aspects
says
of life.
20. Shit.
So I can tell you, I have no idea how many new clients we brought on this year. I can tell you last year we brought on, I think, 27 new personal clients and 5 new retirement plans.
But that's as a sum of multiple people.
No. That's just me and my
Okay,
team.
just you. All right.
Yeah.
That's
You
doable.
can only you can only go off yourself, right? So I would say that personally, the personal side of planning would be easier to grow
Oh, wow.
than the benefit side. However, it really depends. Like, let's say that we've been best buddies for years and you guys started your TPA firm the same time that I started advising. Boom. Well, there's the synergy. Dang, TPA. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to,
Don't repeat it.
and I just want to talk on averages. I understand there's different scenarios. Okay. So Chad, I thought it was going to be the opposite. To be totally transparent, I was going to be like, getting personal clients has got to be a hell of a lot more harder than getting.
Well, is
Parents.
getting $1 million personal client. So Chris, you mentioned 26 last year. Averaging $1 million? Are they over $1 million?
No.
So I think that's the difference, JD, is
Fair enough.
if we're looking at the average plan size, like when you said that, Chris, my mind went, oh, hell no, you can't bring on 25 or 27 K plans in a year. And we're essentially trying to hit the same number, 75 to 100 clients, right? So my initial thought was, damn, I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah, me neither.
But if we're talking about getting to the same revenue number, and he's saying 100 there, 75, I think personal would be easier, but JD, for someone to build a book of 75 401k plans, shit,
lot of
you got to
work.
be a
All the
specialist.
time.
You've got to have a back
Yep.
office.
Yep.
You've got to have a really sound process. You're
lot of
gonna
work.
be losing a lot of those clients as you try to build a book of that size.
And to Hackler's point, even servicing them is work. So now let's bring this together. Okay. This convergence, and let's share some thoughts about the efficiencies of doing both. And we kind of got caught on this like $1 million personal client. But I would also imagine if you're that 23-year-old who's starting out, you don't just stand in line at Starbucks and say, hey, buddy, you got $1 million in investable assets. Like, you should hook up with me, man. Like, I got a great program. I'm assuming you got to work your way up. And
That could be a niche though. That
Yeah.
could work, dude. Like you might be on to something.
That's
yeah.
how I got my first client.
Yes,
I was-
I do.
Yeah. I was at
I guess
Starbucks.
where I want to go with this is, given Brian Graff, I don't know how many times over the next month I'll mention Brian Graff's speech. Mark will remind me. And the 625,000 new plans, if this federal mandate goes through, Build Back Better, everything we're dealing with here in California, and in the state-run mandate, this tsunami of micro market closing the coverage gap retirement plans that average 15 employees, it's got to get pretty easy over the next few years to bring on these retirement plans that will in effect have 15 to 20 people in them that are now a captured audience for you as a young financial planner to talk to about real planning. I realize they don't have investable assets. I never was claiming that they would, but maybe in this new world, you could charge them $1,500 a year to help them be a better 45-year-old in 20 years when they get there, if that makes sense. And so thoughts to you first, Chad, like if you were just going completely out of what you know in your normal career and you sat down with a young financial planner, could you not make this business strategy for them? Like this would make a lot of sense.
Absolutely. 100%. Those, and I've said it for a while now, those are the folks that truly need the most help. They're in the early parts of their career where they could have the greatest impact on their overall success moving forward, the nest egg that they could create, their need to drive down debt, to make good decisions. They're not the people that already have $1 million of investable assets and have done a lot of good things along the ways.
Chris, so, you came from Morgan Stanley early in your career. You spent some time there, right? I'm assuming that you were thinking, I'm going to be a wealth manager, a financial planner. I'm going to help people with these like real personal decision makings. When you first saw 401k, did you see it as a Trojan horse? Did you see it as like, oh, well, this is my way in?
So at the large firms, I will tell you that unless you are an established person there, they will not let you touch a retirement plan,
especially in current day.
Yeah.
I don't mean when you were at Morgan Stanley. I mean, when you decided to do 401ks.
They would not have let me touch it with the 10-foot pole. Not even close.
Yeah. I didn't mean when you're at Morgan Stanley. I meant, I thought you were there, so that would build that headspace for you. Sure, but when you're on your own and or your new firm and you decided to go 401k, did you think it has a way into the individual, or you just like, no, I want to be a 401k stud?
So, oh boy, that's tough. That's tough. And it's tricky because, so going back to when I was at those firms, they focused on, the super high and ultra high net worth, which, I mean, there aren't many out there, right? Like how many ultra high net worth people are there? There's not a lot. And I'm not degrading. Yes. I mean, yeah. Right. I don't want to state the obvious, but then I brought up the 401k side. They're like, don't even touch it. I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to do? I can't control that. Then I go to big firm number 2, same thing. So when I partnered up with Lucia, they let me do what I thought was going to be best for my business, which is you have to immerse yourself in both. And that's what I saw was there's no connection. You've got all these high net worth people. I guess if million's the number, let's go with that. Chad mentioned it. All these people have advisors or planners, but I looked at it going, good Lord, there's got to be a way where you can help these people that aren't worth that, the mass affluent or whatever the case is, and also be financially compensated for it. And so when I got to Lucia, I said, I'm going to go full bore, whether it's 401 or retirement plans or personal. I can be diversified because just like in investing, you want to diversify your business.
All right, slow down. But one more time. Yeah. Did you think, hey, and you don't have to say yes or no, I want the honest answer.
Sure.
Did you think, hey, if I do a 401k plan, and this is before you knew shit about 401k, okay? You're brand new in 401k. You'd spent your time at the big shops and you said, hey, Lucia's going to let me do a 401k. Did you think to yourself, wow, there's going to be 40 individual participants in this plan that I will have access to? Or was that not a thought?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So yes. So how I viewed it was no 401ks initially, like a startup plan, when there's no money in it, there's no dollars, which means you don't get paid. That just is what it is. However, I used it as a vehicle of saying, wow, I can really help these people on a planning basis. And so, yeah, there was a ton of personal possibility there. And in fact, a lot of clients we have gotten from those employee meetings, and they go, wait a sec, do you do personal planning too? I go, well, yeah. Why? Because in my mind, it was, why wouldn't I? right?
We've
You know-
talked about this a fair amount, and I know it's old news for a lot of people here, but I jumped on 4 calls this week for a current
Just
client.
4 through the whole week. Just
Yeah.
4 calls. That's all
Yeah.
you've done.
Dang,
4
he's
client
doubled
calls,
you
yeah.
up,
And
Justin.
Mark, that's a lot, wears me down, man. That's a lot when I look at my calendar for the week. And
Life balance, Chad.
and for 2 of those calls, half of them, the concept came up of the participants getting more one-on-one help, not with their 401k investments, but outside stuff. And I won't go into this conspiracy stuff from last week, but a lot of it had to do with the record keeper pushing some email notifications to them, and human resources and my client contact actually liking the concept, and the advisor kind of playing along, but we're not going there. But I just want to tell you, 2 of my 4 clients seemed very excited about it this week. And they wanted their 401k provider, whether that's the record keeper and or the advisor together, helping their individuals. And so I saw it live and in color this week. And I want to let you know, Chris, like, this is tough for me. I come from go ahead, Chad.
No. I want to make a point afterwards, but on that topic, on that point.
I just want to let you know, Chris, I come from a world where you do only 401k and only that.
I would love to know the world you come from, dude.
And when you try to go outside of that and try to help the participants with other things, I felt like employers would be upset with that. Like, do your job, stay in your lane. And now I've said this ad nauseum, but I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. And Chad, share your thought.
This happened to me maybe 3 weeks ago, and I thought about bringing it up on the show, but I don't think I ever did. So forgive me if I did. I've always communicated to advisors that they should consider, private wealth should consider offering a surface level of what they're doing on the private wealth side to all 401k participants. Like, as we're discussing here, find a way to be a resource for those folks. This was the first time I heard it put this way, but I had an advisor in a meeting tell 2 of his personal wealth clients that are the business owners, hey, and you know the financial planning I do with you, I'll be doing that for your participants as well. And it went over really well, but I immediately hung up off that Zoom, and I called the advisor and I said, I haven't heard you say that before. I'm curious if next time you chat with your client, if it diminishes the value of what you're doing with them. Because you just told your client what I'm doing for you on the personal side.
The individual. You mean the
individual. I said, you just told your client that what I'm doing for you and I'm charging you 1% for, I'm going to do for the cost of what I'm charging the 401k plan for, which is a startup. So it was nothing. And I was curious because I'd never heard an advisor put it that way. Like, are you diminishing the value of what you're doing with this $1 million investor?
Oh, I'm
by
sorry,
telling
Chad.
them I'm going to do the same thing with this participant.
Can I unpack that with you?
Yeah.
And you know, this goes against everything I believe in here, but I didn't know that you were stating that, hey, I'm going to give it away with the 401k.
I'm not stating that. I'm not, and I never have.
Because my dream would be, no. I'm going to do my 401k job as an advisor, but there's 50 employees in this company, and
they could all be clients.
Well, let's be real. If I get the attention of 15 of them that want to, and let's say these 15, let's say 10 of them have no real net worth, no investable assets, but they want to come to me and they're willing to dip into their annual salary of, say, 65 grand to like pay me $1,500 to help them budget, save, work on their debt, et cetera, et cetera. Mark says, no, you wouldn't do that. Be smart, Mark. You'll benefit you in the long run.
I'm not disagreeing with you in any way, shape, or form. I'm just telling you what I heard on that call, which is why I immediately reached out to that advisor afterwards and said, I need to know if this is going to diminish the value that you're bringing to your actual
Why do you need to know that, Chad? I'm just curious. I'm curious, dude. Like, yeah, okay.
I would like to know that.
What? Yeah. Why are you? Tell me. I need to know.
Mark,
like, shut up, dude.
Let's have a moment. Mark, Chad, I'll take this for you, partner. Let's have a moment in front of everyone here, Mark. You could learn from Chad on this because Chad is putting his advisor first and worried about his overall business model. And I would, no matter what kind of shit Hackler's about to give me in the chat bar, I would love to see you and Justin take that same approach, especially going forward. Start to understand their entire business, what they face as an entrepreneur, and how you might be able to help. I'm
was
going
his
to
response,
embrace the
Chad?
silence.
I have no
Stay
comment. to
silent,
that.
awkward. Let's embrace it.
He knows, and he does the same damn thing. He's
All
just
right.
trying to be
Me?
confrontational.
Chris, we're going to play a
right now.
game. Chris, we're going to play a
Okay.
game.
Okay,
It's
let's play it.
everyone's favorite game.
Oh, I guess
Oh,
that
we don't
don't
have
matter.
time for that. There's no
Yes,
time
we
for
do.
that.
We've got
We-
plenty of time for the game. Play the graphic and play the game. Thank you.
Chris, are you familiar with the Lamer game?
I am not familiar.
Okay, so I have a series of questions. It's rather simple. I'll ask you a question. I'll always come to you first for an answer. You either think it's lame or you're game. Make
Okay.
sense? All right.
Those are my only two answers.
I mean, you can expand, but I might cut you off. You can't go too. Don't ramble because it's
I
not
won't.
meant for that. Okay.
Yep, got it. Yep.
Okay. So it's getting cold outside, guys. That's why I'm wearing a beanie. Ignore the pimple on my forehead. Anyways,
Wear it well.
putting like a sweatshirt in the dryer in the morning to warm it up before you put it on. Lamer game.
Game.
Wow.
JD.
I've never done it, but it sounds like a great idea.
Brilliant.
Game.
Yeah, I'm sure people just spruce up your stuff and warm it for you with their
He's
breath.
got
Yeah.
people to do that.
Yeah.
When they bring in his
Uh,
breakfast
Justin.
game. Do you do that with your robe?
I don't even wash it, dude. Why would I
Dry
put it in
clean,
the-
bro. Dry clean. That bitch.
Chad.
Game.
All right.
I think it's the first time we've had a
Solid game
doubt it,
across.
but-
across the board.
Justin,
In recent
really,
memory, Mark,
your
or JD.
recollection of things is awful.
It is.
Okay,
Hang
next.
over.
Really
I think I'm focused a little too much on it being cold these days. But question, you know, did everybody here drink hot chocolate, hot cocoa, if you will? Yeah.
Lame.
All right. Drinking it without anything in it. No marshmallows, no cool whip, no whipped cream.
Yeah.
Lamer game.
Okay. I'm technically gonna say lame or game because
Well, you can't. You have
Not
to
the
pick
game.
one.
Time out.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Can't
whoa,
do
whoa.
that.
No. So I technically can't have chocolate, but if it's white chocolate, I would say game.
Okay, but that's not the question. It's having the accessories of the
That's
hot
what
chocolate.
I'm saying. So but that's my point. Like having the accessories in it, I'm game.
Okay,
Yes.
but drinking it without it just seems weird. It's like naked. Anyways, JD.
Yeah, no. So I totally am the opposite. I typically would not put anything in my hot chocolate, and I like it that way. So I'm lame on the accessories.
All right, Chad.
Kate just said it. Bailey's.
The-
All
the-
Bailey's.
hey, this is my game, not Kate. Stop kissing her ass constantly
I'm
on the show.
game. I'm game, Mark.
God,
Add it in.
just
Put
Justin, you're
Bailey's in
done,
there.
Chad. Justin.
Yeah, gotta have some Cool Whip.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. This is like a two-part question, kind of. The voting polls on LinkedIn. All right. We've already kind of done this lamer game.
Have we?
So it's it's part of it, which I guess I'll just throw it out there again. But has anyone else noticed an incredible uptick in how much those are used? So again, like everything, the reason I'm bringing this back up is because are we overusing it? So my question is voting polls on LinkedIn, Chris, lamer game.
Lame.
Okay. JD.
It's a stab at engagement. You know, they're trying to create some, and I've been victim to it a lot of times. Like I'll click, I do them. So I think they're lame, but I've been caught.
Follow-up question. Have you ever not done it because you don't know the answer? It's like true or false. You're like, I don't want to
Yeah.
seem stupid.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Chad, lamer game.
Game.
Justin.
Game.
All right, I have to do this one. I just have to, and mostly because I want to gauge the audience more than anything. Squid Games, lamer game.
What the fuck is that? It's
Yeah, what-
everywhere. I have no
don't
idea what
know.
it is.
I have
Chris,
no
you first.
idea. I'm gonna say lame just because I have no idea what it is.
Okay,
Someone tell me what it is in the chat bar, please.
it's a show apparently that everyone's talking about. JD,
Ted Lasso.
have you seen that? Have you seen that meme? You know, the one where like the guy's walking by with a girl and he's looking back at the other girl. It's Squid Games is the girl in front and he's looking at, and it's then Ted Lasso is the one he's ignoring.
I'm so game on that meme.
Right. It's so good. Chad.
I'm lame. I have no idea what it is, but I'm 100% lame.
Justin.
Yeah, lame.
Have you
So
seen
Chad,
it?
No, I just but I hear it's got English subs and the voices don't match the lips, and that drives me insane. I can't do it.
Okay.
Chad, if you use your remote, you can go to these things called apps, and beyond the cable,
JD, I don't
there's
have
like
smart
Netflix,
TVs
there's
like you.
Amazon, there's Apple TV, there's these other things. You should check it out.
You remember,
your
I
kids-
live in Missouri, JD. All I have is an antenna
Yeah.
that I have to rearrange
Wow.
with a hanger on it. To
All
get
right.
signal.
Well, you know what they say.
you know what they say.
Okay. All right. Well done, Mark. Well done. Improv, but good. Chat bar champion.
Yeah. Can we tell everyone, JD, that you asked me to do that like an hour ago?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you're supposed to do it every week, Mark. Job
No.
description.
No.
when Fred Reich is on the
Job
show
description.
and Nevin Adams, you kind of put your feet up for a while and you let your hangover soak in for a few days, and you just don't turn your attention back to the show.
Yeah.
Justin, your vote for chat bar. No, wait, I'm going first.
What?
I'm going
No.
first.
Because I was going to steal yours.
I'm voting for you,
What is that?
Hackler, you motherfucker. In the beginning, you actually were hurting my feelings. I'm trying to run a show here, and sometimes I want my confidence to be at some kind of high. And when I started off with questions and you say JD's already boring me, like he goes on, and can you get to the fucking point? And then you keep like throwing these stabs at me. It hurts. It hurts, but it's phenomenal. You're my vote for chat bar champion. Justin, you're next.
We go, Kate. Do you hear me or
He's
no?
catching up on.
Kate,
he's catching
Brandon,
up on the
we've
chat bar.
got
He was trying
Hackler,
to
we've got
read.
Kate. I'm reading the chat bar. Wait, let's be silent
Like-
for a moment. Silence. Embrace it. Just embrace it. Okay, Mark, your turn.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest. Having a Katie and a Kate in the chat bar at the same time, even though there's the parentheses, gets a little fuzzy. It's probably the alcohol talking, but I'm going to vote for Katie Kate. So I'm going to combine them as one.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is not your game, Mark. You can't do this.
I just spit all over my keyboard and my
Yeah.
fucking iPad.
Yep.
Okay, Mark, I love it. It's in. Katie, Kate, a duo. Done.
Uh-huh.
Chris,
So does that mean Kate has 2 votes now?
Hey,
So,
Shamanda,
no, Chris.
you're out.
I'm
gonna-
might you like to put into the semifinals to be chat bar champion to win their very own collectible mug? Who did you like?
Out of the people that you already listed, or I can say anyone.
No,
Anyone.
just
Anybody.
anyone in the world.
I
Yeah.
could say
Have you ever
anyone.
watched the show?
Pick
No,
Gandhi.
no.
I don't
The
know.
reason, no. It was just the frame. It was the frame of the question. So I'm actually going to go with NJ because there was just one comment and said vote for me. I'm like, all right. Everyone else is just
I
balking.
like
You
Done.
the
like
one
that.
that was
More.
just in
Got
there?
it.
I don't
NJ.
even. Who's NJ?
All right, Brandon. Hopefully you
New Jersey.
picked up on that. And there's a Kate/Katie, but I know Brandon knows that. He's got
No,
that.
it's Katie Kate. It's a one word. Yeah, it's
Like Kitty Cat, but Kitty Kate.
Katie Kate. What? But Kate's
like
also
kitty
one?
cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
JD, now that the vote's up, I wanted to acknowledge that you didn't ask me tonight. Yeah.
Hey, I've been there before. Just shut up and take it.
You know,
Jeez.
no one cares about the flyover states
JD's too focused on the Giants, man.
and the fact that I have to pee.
Yeah, real bad.
I thought Katie Kate would get it just out of pure novelty, like Mark's little creation.
It's got to be hard to take down the hack, though.
I
Chad, who was
Hackler
gonna be your
deserves
vote?
it.
This
My
doesn't
vote was-
seem fair though. It's like
Was going to be
Kate
hacked.
is losing votes
Kate
to Katie
gets
Kate.
double the vote. Kate and Katie Kate
So
should
Kate
count
wins
together.
no matter what.
Well,
Hey,
I don't know how
Hey,
we parse that.
is that no? I say if you didn't vote for Katie Kate, you voted for Kate.
Right? I agree.
I'm still sticking with NJ. Less is more.
He or she's in the hunt, but I feel like Hackler's got it. Huh? All right,
Oh.
Hackler, Brandon, call it. Will Hackler, chat bar champion. Okay, Will, in the chat bar, let me and everyone know what collectible mug you would like. Would you like Silent J, Nerdy Chad, Robe Guy, or JD? And then I've got Hackler's
Home-
address. So you don't
I was
need.
gonna say
don't have
home
a
address
nickname.
and social security number, please.
Can we acknowledge that I believe it was Hackler's birthday recently? So a little belated happy birthday to Mr. Hackler.
No, we can't.
Okay.
Okay,
Happy
it's been a
birthday.
great show, everyone. Chris,
Fair enough.
thank you so much.
Yeah, fuck you, Hackler.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate or being with us. You didn't tune in, Chris. You were fucking with
He's
us.
chilling. He's
Yeah,
chilling.
that is a way of tuning in, though. Right?
I guess.
So, yeah, you're
But
welcome.
to you, all you people out there, you people, you tuned in. We appreciate it. Thursday night. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, we'll be here next week, same bat channel, same bat time, but we'll be at Wealth at Work in Nashville.
That's not next week.
No, I know, but it's the Sunday after that. I'm just giving people updates on where you're going
Oh,
to be, Robe Guy.
Okay.
The 23rd through the 26th, Chad, 24th through the 26th, something
Yeah,
like
are we
that.
doing a show that week?
No. Come on. No
Yeah,
way.
we are.
No,
We're doing-
no.
We're doing 3 shows at the conference, and then we will be back for a Thursday night show.
I won't be here.
Listen,
I'm
You
calling
want
you
your
in
fucking
sick.
paycheck?
Young for a
You'll
month.
fucking be at the show.
You've never given me one before. Why should I
Thanks,
ask for
everyone.
one now?
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Brandon, play us
Thanks,
some
Chris.
music. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you,
Hannah.
Chris.
Anytime.
Plug your-
Plug your
podcast. Plug your podcast.
Absolutely tune in to Capitalize Your Finances. You can look on Spotify. You can follow me on LinkedIn, or you can go
Hey, why
directly
aren't you on iTunes?
to
Oh, why the fuck are you on iTunes?
have fun with compliance with that one.
Oh,
Oh.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. NJ's got a
Nice, Brandon.